Hey guys, welcome to Tech Tempest, or Gadget First, depending on where you're watching this video. Today we've got the full review of the Sapphire HD7870XT, a really interesting card, basically built off the same core as what you'd find in the higher end 7950. And it's quite significantly cheaper compared to Sapphire's own 7950, so this should offer quite good value should the performance be up there with the 7950. There are some compromises to be made with comparisons to the 7950. It has a lower bandwidth memory. I think it's 284-bit rather than 256-bit rather than 384-bit, and there's 2 gigabytes of it versus 3 gigabytes. But on the whole, there's not too much difference. On the core itself, you're sacrificing some shaders, but this actually out of the box comes at a much higher clock than the 7950, so that kind of compensates for it, which you'll see in the scores in just a second. I was really impressed with the Sapphire 7870 when it came to the 3D Mark benchmark. We used Firestrike on default settings, and between the 7950 and the 7870XT, there was no difference pretty much at stock settings. Just out of the box, you're paying maybe a £30 or £40 premium for nothing with the 7950 when it comes to this benchmark here. It's a different story when you overclock though. The 7950 really is an overclocking beast. The 7870 overclocks really well as well, but when it comes to the 7950 it's in a different league when it comes to the overclocking, so you can see it scored nearly at 8,500 points with 3D Mark Firestrike. So for overclocking, so far it's looking as if the 7870 isn't as good as the 7950, but if you're going to take it out of the box and just put it straight in and be done with it, it's looking like quite a good choice. But obviously you'll have to look at some games first. We tested a variety of games, so obviously we'll see just whether the games you run well on this card and whether the overclocking scales nicely. The Valley benchmark is a brand new benchmark from Unigine, and it really shows off what computers nowadays can do. I was really interested by the results from this. At stock clocks, the 7870 is actually beating the 7950 by quite a large margin, really, almost by about like 200 marks. So that's really impressive. Once overclocked, the 7950 still overtakes the 7870XT. But you know, the delta is a lot smaller than it was with 3D Mark, so that's really impressive from the 7870XT. On to our first gaming benchmark now. Battlefield 3 was another interesting one. Even at stock clocks, they're both pretty much the same, but as we've seen in previous synthetic tests, the 7950 once overclocked completely obliterates it, getting about 123 frames per second versus just over 100 for the 7870XT. So it really does beat it when it's overclocking out of the box. Really good performance from the 787.
But the darkness was calling to me, and everything I thought I knew, I came to doubt.
Nobody ever walks here. Neither people nor beasts. Even the rats are absent. Some say it's the voice of the tunnels. Others consider it to be a form of psychic influence.
Remarkable it must be to see the world through your...
The 7870XT is once again showing that it is king of the hill when it comes to value. In Far Cry 3, it's actually beating the 7950 by 5 frames per second at stock clocks, and they're around the same once they're both overclocked, so really testament to the ability of the 7870XT. The story is much the same with the original Crisis. Testing the original Crisis with the benchmarking program that's included with it shows that the 7870 actually beats the 7950 at stock clocks, and they're around the same. The 7950 just slightly edging it out once they're both overclocked. But really, this is really impressive from the 7870XT. We're going to have a look at some temperature graphs now to see just how they compare when it comes to temperature. So yeah, pretty much everything about this card regarding performance is really good. It's pretty much got the best bang for buck ratio you can get at the moment. It's pretty much the 560 Ti of its generation. So let's look at the temperature now. The 7870 is pretty good when it comes to temperature. The Sapphire edition of this card runs at 55 degrees in our test system, and that was at stock. And the case was closed and everything. It's not like it's an open test bench where it has lots of air. It's a real life situation. And so yeah, 55 degrees, that's flat out at stock speeds, is really good. That's the exact same temperature as what we got with the 7950 at stock clocks as well. So stock clocks, at least, it's a really nice cool running card. Now when they're overclocked, both of them pretty much perform the exact same. You know, high 60s, almost touching the 70 degree barrier, but both staying under it under long durations of gaming. When you compare the two cards from stock to overclock, there is a big difference. Like, it does increase the temperature a lot, but you know, it's nothing to be worried about really. It's not going to degrade the card too much. You know, you're going to be replacing the card before it dies of being overclocked. So now let's just take a look at the card itself, just the aesthetics of it. I really do like what Sapphire has done here. You just got this little plastic shroud over it, which kind of looks like something you'd see out of Batman. I really do like it. It's pretty much the same as what you get on the 7950 and their other Dual X cooled cards. This isn't the Vapor X edition. Like, Sapphire also have Vapor X cards. The 7870XT does not come in a Vapor X format. But I wouldn't be too surprised if they released that in the near future, before the next generation of cards. So yeah, it's a really nice looking card. It's cooled perfectly, it never gets too hot, and it plays the games almost as well as the 7950 for about £30 or £40 less, which is real testament to the value of the card. So I can't really recommend this card enough. Really brilliant. So cheers for watching, and you may as well get this if you're looking for a good card under £200.